Madut Jok is a senior researcher at the Sud Institute, joining us from New York. Jok, thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour this evening. Another fragile ceasefire, as many who can are taking the opportunity to escape. Many are fleeing into neighbouring countries. But what are the regional implications of this?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah, just to correct you there a little bit, I am now with Syracuse University in New York, not with the Sud Institute. But to your question, there are serious regional implications of this war, one of which is now the extension of the war to Darfur, the western end of Darfur, Al Janina, which is bordering very close to the border of Chad. So Chad is definitely going to be drawn in very directly, not just because of refugees fleeing into it, but possibility of direct involvement in the war, because we know that historically Chad has been very much part of the mayhem that is going on in Western Sudan, in Darfur. The other regional powers, including IGAD, Intergovernmental Agency for Development, have expressed this concern through sending messages to the warring parties to try to negotiate a settlement rather than each side insisting on settling this on the battlegrounds. So that speaks of the concern in the region. Countries like South Sudan to the border in the south, countries like Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya are all now putting in their lot in terms of the possibility of being able to mediate a kind of political settlement between Al Burhan, the head of the Sudan army, and Daglo, the head of the Rapid Support Force. So regional implications also include the refugees. Egypt is already reporting receipt of so many thousands of Sudanese fleeing to its southern border. So by all means, the regional implications include the humanitarian issues, but also fears of these wars, this war extending into the borders of the neighboring countries in one way or the other.
Now, you mentioned Chad just there. Does Chad have the resources to deal and cope with this influx of refugees?
Absolutely not. Chad was already suffering from the many wars in Darfur, but also from its own issues, its economy being weak, the ethnic tensions within Chad are grave, and these tensions have had relationship to the situation in Western Sudan there. So there is bound to be a serious humanitarian crisis on the hands of Chad, which has no resources to deal with it at all.
Jok Madut Jok in New York, thank you for your insight.
Thank you, ma'am.